Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. What a privilege to be part of this esteemed panel. Now, 2 months back, World Bank came up with a study report stating the challenges that exist as far as AI adoption is concerned in governance. Now to the audience, my question to you is, can you imagine what is the biggest challenge that exists the world over as regards AI adoption and governance? Any views on it? What could be the biggest challenge? Governance में AI लाने में सबसे बड़ा challenge क्या है? I'm sure somebody will say data center, somebody will say compute power and the likes. Mindset, acceptance. Thank you, sir. What a great view. World Bank says it's lack of public participation. So with the permission of the panelists, how I intend to run this panel discussion is not traditional, wherein we start with questions and the answers are given. Instead, let me just start with giving a visualization to all the audience as to what are the parameters within which the policy decision makers are coming up with their decisions. I'll just take 3 minutes for that, and then we'll start asking specific questions. So there's a story here. 2 years back in an AI expo, I had asked a question to one Mr. Hopkins, who was a scientist of DARPA. And I had asked him, what is the biggest challenge for optimum utilization of AI? And I'm sure that the answers would be, I assume that the answer would be compute power, it would be neuromorphic aspects, computational algorithms and the likes, but he says that the biggest challenge that exists as far as optimum utilization of AI is lack of human imagination. Now, what does lack of human imagination really mean? Let me give you an example here. Say we have a room, temperature control is to be ensured. How do you do temperature control? It's either by having human in loop or using AI. Now, if it is utilization of AI, there are different levels of utilization of AI. Level 1 would be what? Rule-based AI. That is level 1. Level 2 would be what? Predictive analytics. जो हम काफी बात करते हैं, predictive analytics का AI हमने utilization किया. Now let me ask you, imagination. What would be level 10? Anyone in the panel? What would be level 10? It would be autonomy. Now let me ask you, what would be level 100? State of the art. Think, let your imagination run wild. क्या हो सकता है जिससे temperature control अगर आपको रूम में करना है, you don't have to task anyone, I don't have to give a call to Fahim साहब, temperature change कीजिए. It is direct using AI. It's something called as AI-infused BCI, brain-computer interfaces, wherein with your thoughts, you are able to control the machines. Now, there are 100 people in this room, everybody will have different thoughts. Everybody would have different requirements. I'll say 24 degree hona chahiye, man there would say 22 degree hona chahiye. So the AI is employed in a manner that it caters for all the requirements, and I'm not talking about sci-fi aspects. I'm talking about things that are happening today. Researchers and scientists are working on this. So, logical next question. यहाँ पे जितने भी एमिनरीज बैठे हुए हैं, सारे के सारे level 100 को यूपी में क्यों नहीं ले आते? And the answers lies in 2 stipulations. 1, fiduciary restrictions, PASA, because we have limitation of resources. And second is the upskilling and upscaling of the masses. The point which I already alluded upon, public participation. So if upskilling is important, I straight away jump on to my first question to Dr. Hariom. Dr. Saab, 3,258 ITIs. Is the figure correct?
बिल्कुल ठीक है.
ठीक है?
बिल्कुल.
That goes on to show and display that in UP, AI upskilling is happening at a warring pace.
शुरुआत कर रहे हैं हम लोग. बट नेटवर्क जो हमारा है ITIs का, जिसमें प्राइवेट ITIs भी आपने जैसे बताया 3,000 के आसपास, सरकारी ITIs 300 से भी ज़्यादा. सभी में स्मार्ट क्लासेस हैं, डेटा एडमिशन का, टीचिंग का, इसका सबका हमारे पास है. मशीन्स के इन्वेंट्रीज अभी अपडेटेड बहुत नहीं हैं. पुरानी मशीन्स जो है भी हैं, साथ में मॉडर्न मशीन्स भी हैं। ड्रॉप आउट रेट्स बहुत हैं, पास आउट के बाद ट्रेसेबल नहीं है बच्चा, कहाँ जाता है, प्लेसमेंट वगैरह क्या है, तो ढेर सारी चीज़ें इनिशियली बिफोर वी गो फुल ब्लोन फॉर द एआई गवर्नेंस, उसके पहले जो इन हाउस हमारा जो सिस्टम है उसका डेटाबेस बहुत स्ट्रांग होना चाहिए। एक एआई लिटरेसी कैंपेन बहुत ज़रूरी है जो बच्चे तक भी जाए, हमारे इंस्ट्रक्टर तक जाए, हमारे सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस डिजिटली गवर्न हो। और we are very open and very positive to AI application in the governance as well and the administration and learning from the AI. तो कोशिश पूरी है। The network is very huge and the task is also very complex and very long.
Sir, thank you so much. How do you ensure that we understand the technology is moving at a rapid pace? We say ANI, AGI, ASI interplay, that is narrow intelligence से general to super intelligence जा रही है. How do you ensure that the students are able to match pace with these changing requirements of the markets?
आप लोग ही बदल दे रहे हैं सीख रहे हैं, सिखा रहे हैं। अभी धीरे धीरे एआई ओरिएंटेशन की तरफ जा रहे हैं। अभी तो कंप्यूटर लर्निंग है, सभी जगह पे कंप्यूटर बेस्ड एजुकेशन भी नहीं है, फिजिकल टीचिंग्स हैं, और अभी ई लर्निंग उतनी नहीं है, डिजिटल कंटेंट उतना नहीं है। अभी तो हम लोग टेक्स्ट बुक बेस्ड भी हैं लार्जली। सब कुछ जो है वो स्मार्ट क्लासेस तो हैं, लेकिन उनको हम अभी कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाते हैं, जैसे कि आउट ऑफ द क्लास रूम्स जो हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स हैं उनसे कनेक्ट करने के लिए भी हम लोग कोशिश में हैं। तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज़ वेल प्लेस नाउ दैट द फंक्शनैलिटी इज़ अवेटेड, कि वो सारे जो भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, जो डिजिटल फ्रेमवर्क है, उसको कैसे फंक्शनल बनाएं एंड हाउ टू कनेक्ट द पीपल हु आर वेल वर्स्ड विद द एआई। So gradually we are moving towards that, but the pace that you were asking for, the pace, and that pace is missing, and there are so many reasons for that pace is not as per the desire. उस पे धीरे धीरे हम लोग catch up कर रहे हैं.
Right, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You spoke about dropouts. Now I'll come to Mr. Rohit Mehta. Rohit sir, now we understand when it comes to students, there are different variable capabilities of every student. So I believe you're already utilizing data analytics as insofar as understanding the requirements of students is concerned. Can you just tell us something about it?
Thank you so much. We all know that prevention is always better than cure. तो बच्चे जब स्कूल से ड्रॉप आउट हो जाएं, फिर उसे ढूंढें और वापस लाएं, that is a big task. So we have developed a system called early warning system, where we have placed various filters like socio-economic conditions, religious conditions in that particular locality, difficult terrain. The major aspect from administration and academic perspective are the attendance, number of availability of teachers, their performance at various exams. Considering all this, we create a probable dropout list through using this early warning system. And that list is shared with everyone during the school enrollment drive at the beginning of the school. And in Gujarat, since when the Honorable Prime Minister was the CM of Gujarat, he had started school enrollment drive in 2003, which is still continued, in which including Honorable Chief Minister, entire Council of Ministers, all Class 1 officers, IAS, IPS, IFS, everyone visits the school for 3 days and take those tiny toddlers who are the first time school goer to school. So we have added one more layer, probable dropouts, they are brought back to schools. Using this predictive analysis, we contact the parents, we contact the community leaders and ensure that they are back to school.
Sir, thank you. But इसमें आपने जो बताया उसमें मुझे मेरे जहन में एक थोड़ा सा सवाल आया and it is very personal to me. जब मैं 10th 11th स्टैंडर्ड में हुआ करता था, मैं आखिरी दिन पढ़ाई करता था. 10th स्टैंडर्ड में एग्जाम के एक दिन पहले पढ़ाई करके मैं एग्जाम देता था. So in all likelihood, I would have figured out in that dropout list. Now there's always a stigma to it, right? The dropout list. How are you mitigating the stigma, and are there any guardrails that you have already imposed?
So having human angle. So like, you have rightly said, but we say no child should suffer adverse consequences solely because of an algorithmic predictions. There should be always a human angle and combine technology with community-based support. Here, community and the school plays a vital role. Also, at the same time, the child should not feel a left out one, or the teacher should not single them out, that these students are at the risk of dropout and then they are branded like that. So we have kept certain simple principles like support but no punishment. Teachers must validate the alerts before any intervention is made. This is most important. So teachers know their students in best possible way. Another is explain the AI how it has identified the student to the community leaders and the teachers. So we explain them how the system works and how we have identified the student, but the teacher has to validate that entire process. We do not use any harmful label, like, say probable dropout, rather than we use the positive language that needs additional support, and instead of high-risk student. We do also make some bias and equity checks. So socially, the student is not deprived of the education. We have placed very strong privacy restrictions. So the data is not available to anyone and everyone. Data is available to only those who are going to get them back to school. Otherwise, there is no access to anyone about this data. So that is one of the major thing. And major success is through inclusion, not the left out ones.
You said utilizing algorithmic leverages. Now, algorithms are important as far as education is concerned, but algorithms are also important as far as asset management is concerned, and I'd like to bring in Dr. Mansoor Ali. Mansoor Saab, आप ये बताइए कि how do you leverage spatial mapping and the algorithms together so as to achieve asset management?
Thank you very much for calling me here. A Waqf is an endowment which is for charitable and religious purpose. Somebody has donated his property for the purpose of welfare of the people. When somebody has donated the property long back, like 100 years back, 150 years back, then some organization should be there to manage that Waqf. For that purpose, Waqf board is there to administer and see the management of the Waqf, which as per the intended thinking of the Waqif is there or not. Waqf properties ledger data goes back to around 150 years, 200 years back. Last week I was going through one very good Waqf deed, which is around 120 years back. But these are mostly handwritten and in very dilapidated condition. As far as how AI can help in that record management, AI can help in digitization of that data. Even if it is handwritten, it can be digitized in that way. If there is any kind of anomaly which is happening in the record and at the ground, it can find the anomaly. Normally complaints are there that the income from the Waqf property is not as per the market rate. This aspect can also be taken by AI. As far as geospatial things are concerned, in any kind of real estate, geospatial GIS is very important. We can sit in our office and we can find out that through ground truthing or geospatial map that whatever is there on the ground and whatever is there in the record, we can match that. Therefore, AI and geospatial thing with drone technology can help us in the management and administration of Waqf property. Thank you.
Thank you, Mansoor Saab. आपने बात की from being reactive to being proactive. And reactivity to proactivity, one live example that we have is wherein I'd like to call upon Dr. Adarsh. Adarsh, sir? Firstly, congratulations for a record revenue generation. And it's hats off to you and your entire department. But my question to you is that AI-driven production tracking and market analytics, I believe your department has been able to achieve quite a lot in this regard. So can you just give us, throw some light on it? How are you achieving it?
Thank you so much. Yes, first, I'll start from your point about the revenue generation. That is a fact, and I think we have now become a role model for the rest of the country. I mean, and this is something that has taken place over the past, I think, 9 or 10 years. Ever since 2017, our revenues in 17 was 17,000 odd crores. Today they are to the tune of 58,000 crores. So we have tripled in the past 9 years, and in from whatever parameter you look at it, UP has now become an exemplar in the excise ecosystem. Today particularly happens to be, I mean, coincidentally, today is the day when we in the excise department, before coming here, the last file that I signed, we are floating an advertisement today. We have drafted an RFP, and we have formally started the process of taking on board a data analytics agency. Because I mean, that one phrase which I was hearing the speaker before me, she captured it perfectly well. When we speak about AI, what actually is the sort of, what does AI do for governance? It enables us as policymakers, as implementers, to move from reactive to predictive governance. So that in the excise ecosystem is extremely important. I'll just give you one or two examples of why this is necessary. Last year, we had a statewide lottery in which we opened up the entire retail architecture and we invited applications. So in UP, the policy is that for every shop, a base is fixed. It's not an auction. So we fixed that this is the amount of revenue that we decide that this is the amount of revenue that this shop can give. And then we have a lottery for that. There was one particular shop in Jhansi for which we settled on X revenue. We did not take into account the fact that 3 or 4 months before this lottery took place, the adjoining districts of that area, and that shop in Jhansi was in a geographical area which it was surrounded by Madhya Pradesh on all sides, Datia, Orsha and all those places. So Madhya Pradesh had introduced prohibition in those areas for religious reasons. We did not take it into account. Our local field officials did not take it into account. So that shop became extremely viable. So the base that we had fixed, the actual sales that occurred in the previous year, it was 4x. So again, I mean, we are still relying in the government on sort of heuristic decision making. We have a lot of data because that is the foundational aspect of AI. I mean, AI is per se in isolation, it is useless unless you have data. So we have data to the tune of, I was just asking my people, how much data do we have? It is to the tune of 30 terabytes of data. Every day we generate around 30 or 35 GB of data. But then that data is just data. To translate that into something which enables us to take evidence-based decisions is what we are now looking for. Another example that I would like to give is this year, for example, when we were thinking of how we should increase our revenues, I mean, one simplistic way of doing it is to increase the taxation, increase our duties. We have zero idea of what is the price elasticity. I mean, if in an ideal world, if we have, if we double or treble our duties on a particular category of liquor, it should increase our revenues twice or thrice, but it doesn't happen that way. I mean, there are many reasons for that, but obviously one of the main reasons is that this price sensitivity, the price elasticity, as I said, because beyond the point, if you increase the duties, the sales will go down, and also the aspect about neighboring states. Excise is in that sense, is a silo. It's a state subject, so not everything is in the public domain, and we don't know what is the actual taxation structure in Haryana, what is the actual rate in Haryana or Delhi or Punjab or any of the neighboring states. So these are the things that we are looking for, anomaly detection. I mean, if we have an area in which the sales are particularly high or particularly low, that should flag. That should be automatically flagged, and it should enable us to take a reasoned decision on that. So now these are the things that that the challenge now remains, that we should now move into the actual use of AI. Because अभी तक हम लोग जो भी बातें कर रहे हैं, that is actually not AI. It is just, I mean, we are using computers and we are using our data to help us, but it is not intelligence per se.
It's not AI, it's BI.
Yeah.
So you said, Dr. Adarsh, you spoke about anomaly detection. And my mind goes back to my professor of University of San Diego, wherein I finished my MS in Applied AI. And he used to always say that anomaly detection can only be done by agentic systems. He used to always say that. While coming here, when I was doing my little bit of research, I realized that the UP police is already employing agentic artificial intelligence for catching of fraud. And I believe, if I have the figure correct, 1,500 crores worth of fraud has already been caught on. And therefore, if I may call upon Mr. Ashish Tiwari, IPS, I would not like to ask you anything on the technology perspective of it, because I'm sure you guys are already doing a phenomenal job. Let me just touch upon the ethical aspects. Do you think that such application of agentic systems at times breaches onto the ethical domain and there are concerns, and how are you mitigating them?
See, the debate is very old, whether science is a boon or a bane. So it has happened with fire, with electricity, with the industrial revolution, and now with this new technology called AI. So I feel that with every technology, there will be ethical concerns. With electricity also there was ethical concerns. In fact, with the industrial revolution, there was Luddites. So with this technology, because this technology is a horizontal technology which actually influence all the kind of sectors, not only policing but development as well. So those concerns are there. But I feel that if we don't use this, then our job as a human race is to maximize the potential of a technology and minimize its negatives. So I feel that in any domain, we have to use technology, and we have to work on the R&D part of it also, so that we use it like the way we use electricity. It is almost, AI is similar to the 1905 electricity movement right now. But I am very hopeful that this technology will be very useful for human race.
Right. Thank you, Ashish Sab. So two aspects, if I may summarize what he has said. One, he has said man in loop. Am I correct? Man in loop is critical, and second, explainability. But now to achieve explainability, what you require really is that your data systems cannot be siloed. And this is where I think I'll bring in Mr. Ashish Kumar Agarwal. Agarwal, sir? Oh, right. So there tend to be interoperability bottlenecks that exist. Now, how do you think that we can mitigate that? And can you just talk about technology perspectives?
As you know, state government has started in any of the IT system, we have started, जो manual system था उसको computerize किया. तो manual system को जब computerize किया तो वो हम definite reports जो हमारी predefined reports थी, ज़्यादातर वही reports दिया करते थे. फिर उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट had started business process reengineering, कि अपने processes को जो है कंप्यूटर के साथ उन्होंने अलाइन किया, और अलाइन करने के बाद कुछ प्रोसेसेस को जो है या कुछ एक्स्ट्रा फॉर्मेट या एक्स्ट्रा फील्ड्स को ड्रॉप आउट किया. लेकिन उसके बाद भी क्या हुआ कि सिस्टम जो चलने लग गया, स्कीम्स आई, सिस्टम चल रहा है, पीपल्स में फेयर रहता है कि सिस्टम चल रहा है, अब इसको छेड़ो मत, अब इसमें कोई नई चीज़ इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं करो जब तक जो है आपके पास जो है कोई ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजिकल हिच ना आ जाए कि पता चला सिस्टम ऑब्सलीट हो गया। अब आपको माइग्रेट करना है नए सिस्टम पे जो है, तब तक जो है वो डिपार्टमेंट का जो हर डिपार्टमेंट में है कि एक टेक्नोलॉजी ऑफिसर डिफरेंट है और रेस्ट ऑफ द ऑफिसर डिफरेंट है। दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड कि भाई टेक्नोलॉजी है तो उसमें ग्लिचेस भी होगा, अपग्रेडेशन भी होगा और सब कुछ होगा। जो हमारे पास जो डेटा रहता है उसमें क्या फ्रेगमेंटेड आइडेंटिटीज़ हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल राशन कार्ड में सिटीजन जो है बेनिफिशियरी आईडी है, स्कॉलरशिप में जाएंगे तो वहाँ स्टूडेंट आईडी है, या हमारे पास हेल्थ में जाएंगे तो एक आभा आईडी है, और इन सब आईडीज़ को हैं बेसिकली सब सिटीजन्स की आईडी। उसके बाद आधार आया तो आधार में भी जो है कई चैलेंजेस आए कि जो है डिफरेंट कोर्ट्स के डिफरेंट डिसीजन है, तो लोग मैं थोड़ा सा, लेकिन अभी भी जो है आधार जो है वो आया है, जो है वो उसके अंदर जो है इंट्रोड्यूस हो रहा है सिस्टम में। लेकिन जो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है इंटर ऑपरेबिलिटी। जो सिस्टम्स बने थे वो उन्होंने कभी नहीं सोचा था कि हमारा डेटा शेयर होगा, वो शेयरिंग का कोई मोड बना ही नहीं। अब क्या है कि यहाँ पे जैसे एक दर्पण प्रोजेक्ट जो है शुरू हुआ, जिसमें हमने लाइव सिस्टम से एपीआई के माध्यम से डेटा लेना शुरू किया, तो सीएम डैशबोर्ड बना, ऐसे डिस्ट्रिक्ट डैशबोर्ड बना, उसमें डेटा जो है लोगों को एक सबसेट ऑफ डेटा जो है आने लगा और फिर ड्रिल डाउन रिपोर्ट से वो आने लगा। लेकिन अभी भी क्या है कि जब भी हम बात करते हैं आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की, एनआईसी के पास एक सेंटर फॉर एक्सीलेंस है, और आज जो है अभी नेक्स्ट सेशंस में जो है जो हमारी सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस की हेड है वो आई भी हुई है। हमने बहुत सारे जो है फ्री टूल्स बना रखे हैं। जैसे एक टूल बना रखा है कि अधिकतर स्कीम्स में कोई ना कोई डॉक्यूमेंट अपलोड किया जाता है, तो वी से कि वो डॉक्यूमेंट की क्वालिटी सही है या नहीं है, ये आप अपने प्रोडक्ट में इंट्रोड्यूस कर लो। तो लोग अरे नहीं यार चलने दो, पता नहीं स्लो होगा या क्या होगा, वो दे आर नॉट अलाउइंग अस कि जो है ये टूल जो है वो आप लगा लो जो है। या चैटबॉट जो है लगा हुआ है, एनआईसी ने भी अपना चैटबॉट बनाया हुआ है, इट इज़ गिविंग टू द ऑल दी गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स है, या ट्रांसलेशन की सर्विसेज हैं, वो सब भी दे रहे हैं। तो देयर इज़ अ फियर ऑफ फेल्योर कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस में जब हम लगाएंगे तो पता नहीं क्या होगा, क्या हमारी कमियां जो है उजागर हो जाएंगी। लेकिन अभी जो है सर बैठे हुए हैं, एक स्टेट डेटा अथॉरिटी बन रही है जो डेटा स्टैंडर्ड्स पे बात करेगी और इंटर ऑपरेबिलिटीज़ के ऊपर जो है वो स्टैंडर्ड सेट करेगी, सो दैट पीपल कैन एक्सचेंज द डेटा सीमलेसली, और जो एआई का जो रियल बेनिफिट गवर्नमेंट को होना चाहिए वो हो जाएगा। आई थिंक सो।
राइट अग्रवाल साहब, थैंक यू सो मच। आपने एक डेटा फैब्रिक की बात की। Now, why is data fabric important? It is for AI/ML tasks. Now, with this thought of AI/ML, let me just call upon Ms. Archana Verma, ma'am. Now, you are heading SACHES, and we are aware that Ayushman Bharat is already leveraging AI/ML. Now, could you just draw some parlance towards Aadhaar digital health ID cards and how you are already leveraging AI/ML for optimum results? Can I have your views, please?
Thank you. First of all, let me be very clear that ABDM and Ayushman Bharat, I'm CEO for SACHES, and that is Ayushman Bharat PM Jan Arogya Yojana. So both these schemes, ABDM and PMJ, are somehow integrated, but ABDM is looked after by someone else. Okay. Still, because when the scheme was planned, it was there that both these things will be integrated someday. So now NHA, National Health Authority, has moved towards that ecosystem where ABDM will be mandatory for every PMGM paneled hospitals. And what we are doing, that we have migrated our each and every hospital to this ABDM platform. Still the e-health record that is being generated, that is still not very prevalent. Means it was just the first phase when we introduced ABDM. So now we are targeting our hospitals that you should move towards e-health record generation. And you know, once it is done, then the fraud curve and the actual digital verification will be correct. But I must say one thing, if you are talking about the AI thing, let me be very clear what I have seen, that our ecosystem is still not that much ready to have that system. Okay, because we have this one portal here, second portal is there, and the data which is coming to those portals, that is not having a specific ID everywhere. So I'll give you an example that we are doing an exercise, a manual exercise, in which we found that there are X number of doctors and which are mapped against 35 hospitals. One doctor is there in 30 hospitals. So that is a very interesting thing. Okay, and ideally we are having the ones which, if I talk about the states, we are doing data analysis since previously when we started the scheme. That is being done, but that is the problem. What is the problem? I would tell you that if I am mapping one ID against one hospital, it should be flagged somewhere in the system also, and there should be a pop-up when another hospital is coming or raising a claim, then that hospital should get that pop-up that bhai aap pehle 7 claim isi time mein kar chuke hain. Okay, so if one doctor is operating a patient at one place and then there is the same doctor which is operating the patient around the same time, there is no way to map these two things, and we are doing that manually. There is where AI should come up, right? Because it will be easy for the AI, but still we would need that backward ecosystem also. In the whole ecosystem, we need to have that. कि भाई AI अगर है तो AI को हम उस तरह की फीडिंग देंगे तभी वो कर पाएगा. अभी तो मैनुअली आई एम द वन हु इज लुकिंग आफ्टर कि ये दिमाग लगा लिया कि ये क्लेम 8 बजे आया, वो क्लेम भी 8 बजे आया. द पर्सन वॉज देयर इन मुरादाबाद, द सेम पर्सन वॉज देयर इन मेरठ एंड द सेम पर्सन वॉज देयर इन चित्रकूट after 3 days. Okay, so this is the intelligence which I am using, but if I have to implement AI in this insurance fraud sector, then I need to have that mapping at the back end also. So I would say ki this is a phase-wise approach. Right now everybody is coming to me and they are saying ki ye what you are doing, we can do it like this with our AI implementation. But there should be a very clear legal framework, very clear ethical framework also, especially with health, because the data is a privacy matters in health sector. So I think first of all we need to decide, and when state AI mission is already launched, sir is there, and we all know that state is moving towards that. But first of all, we need to realize that there is supply, no doubt. There is immense supply. Everybody is coming up with all the IITs and the people from even outside. And there is demand. I must say what we are doing is something, if AI is implemented, would be definitely very good and very, very appropriate. But that gap is there. Even if I want to implement AI in certain system, there should be very much clarity about how to proceed with the data sharing agreements, how to proceed, and I still was just trying to find that which is the agency in the state, because there are services sector which is mandated, right? We have empaneled agencies like this person can do IT service, this agency, UPDESCO, UPLC, whatever you say, that can do ITES. But there should be a clear-cut mandate, and there should be a AI standardization also, that you have to take AI services, this is the quality certification. So first of all, you need to move towards, as a government setup, I must say that you need to move towards this in a phase-wise manner, where we build the ecosystems parallelly, where we make the legal framework parallelly, and then we need to see which department is at which level. You know, I may be at the very ahead level, I must say, rather than many departments are there where they are not even using analytics that much. So we need to take it as a holistic approach, where we find कौन कहाँ पर है, किसको क्या ज़रूरत है, और gap need analysis करके then we train everyone in this whole ecosystem. Then only we can actually use it in a fruitful way, in a time-bound manner, and we can actually feel that we are not, you know, having FOMO. Everybody is having FOMO कि भाई सब लोग AI कर रहा है, private sector में we all get to see कि insurance companies ने बहुत कर लिया है और हम अभी बड़ा पीछे हैं. But because we are government, we need to find how this will move. So I think there's something which needs to be discussed at this level also.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much. So what we heard was a governance perspective of how things need to be orchestrated. Now, I'm convinced in my belief that as far as AI application is concerned, the answers lies in integration. So it's not just the government perspective or governance perspective, it has to be industry collaboration as well. And I'd like to draw your attention towards the two panel members from the industry who have joined us. One is Mr. Rajesh Malhotra from IBM. Mr. Rajesh, now let me just change the ball game here. Now, what reforms in data sovereignty, model auditability, or procurements should you think that the government should prioritize? I'm sorry, you're not heard. Probably, ma'am, if you can just share your mic. Yeah, it's better.
It's audible now. Yeah. So everyone's excited about using AI. Everyone's excited about use cases which you are able to solve, right? But like you mentioned, there are certain elements which become fundamental to making AI possible for us, right? And you mentioned a few words, so possibly I'll try and elaborate each of them in terms of what can be done, what needs to be done there, right? So data becomes a foundational layer, right? Like ma'am said, we don't have the right data available. You're not able to build intelligence on top of it, right? So the focus has to be on the foundation layer. So the journey will begin with creating that foundation, right? Once you build that foundation, we are talking about a lot of governance coming on top of it, right? Which means, can I share data? How do I share data, right? The data governance part of it, right? There, we are talking about, leveraging AI on these data sets, right? Guardrails become very important, right? Do I have the right tools from a guardrails perspective to, manage? So now, when we're looking at, there are the government is framing policies around this, right? And these policies are possibly being created by Digital India, METI, right? And being fed across. But in a uniform way, to consume them is not easy. So that's why I would think that there is a need for certain standardization of, platforms, like UP mentioned in the morning today that they're looking at an AI stack for the state. So it becomes important that departments don't go and look at building everything themselves. It could be an unified approach to data at the departmental level, but technology at the central level, right? So there could be many approaches to this. That's my little bit.
You said foundational layer, and I'm just overstepping my mandate here. You said foundational layer, but paisa to application layer mein.
Pardon me?
The money lies in the application layer.
Then absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
So if I may just allude upon this, that if you have to stick your neck out and say foundation layer or application layer, what do you think is better for as far as government agencies are concerned?
So the governments have to put forward applications in front of their citizens, right? So ultimately, whether it's department consuming it for increasing revenue, reducing, I would say leakage, or on the other side, improving services for the citizen. It's the application in the front end which is going to do it. But the magic is in the data behind, right? So you have to have both going hand in hand. You can't have one leading and one, remaining behind.
Rajesh sir, thank you so much. Why I get into this debate always is because it's all about sovereignty, right? Sovereign AI. And being a military officer, when it comes to sovereignty is something very close to my heart. Now we move on to Mr. Amit Singh from Deloitte. Mr. Amit, AI-enabled decision-making at Gram Panchayat level is what we've been able to achieve. Now that is phenomenal. On one end, we say कि हमारे पास understanding नहीं है, काबिलियत नहीं है. Or for that matter of fact, upskilling थोड़ी सी उतनी limited है. But we've been able to get it down to Gram Panchayat level. So my question to you is, how do you achieve explainability? Wherein probably the understanding levels would be limited. How have you been able to achieve it, if you can just allude upon that?
No, thanks. So, as I said that, this AI cannot be urban English phenomena, right? And also, we cannot wait for it to succeed and mature before we tackle the rural India, right? So that's what, if you look at application like Sabasa, right? What it has done, it has given an AI tool to 250,000 plus Gram Panchayats. So they can record each and every meeting in their local language, translate, transcribe, create a minutes of meeting, put it there immediately, then the next time agenda will be created based on the last Gram Sabha done, the data from GPTP, so on and so forth. So the point, if you look at theoretically, I mean, obviously we have achieved what we have, right? But look at how we have achieved. I mean, one is that there is an idea, there are means to achieve, then there is execution and leadership. Lot of time we are killing idea at the first place. Second, then we also debate a lot on means, right? This tag, this tag, X, Y, who will implement, how it will implement. So the idea is go ahead what you have. And third is obviously the execution and the willpower, right? And the conviction. I mean, if this country, if we can have an ID better than UK, right? Many other countries like Adarsh, why we think that we cannot have an AI, for all departments and government and so on and so forth. See, sometimes, we looked into two angles from government. Accuracy, right? That we see the AI will not give the accurate result, it will hallucinate. So, I mean, nobody is claiming also, right? So the idea is if you're scrounging around multiple documents, folders and all, figuring out something, if AI is able to give you 80%, 70%, 40%, then you still have a human in the loop in terms of governance, right? So you don't have to worry for both accuracy and governance because eventually start treating AI like a tool, right? Productivity tool to begin with. While advanced use cases will follow, but what we believe that at the first level, whatever can be automated, whatever can be enhanced, whatever we can use the productivity, go ahead and use. And then we'll see, maybe we'll have the time where there'll be agentic, automated also. But the current agentic in government also doesn't have to be like commercial sector, right? Agentic means the process is completed, but there is a person to approve that process, right? So it's not that agentic is running amok in terms of taking decisions on your behalf. So I think putting together everything, I mean, we are very confident and hopeful that we can definitely take AI to any government department, any state.
Mr. Ramit, you said agentic AI running amok HITL, HOTL. I mean, human in the loop, human can be out of the loop as well. I mean, if you come to think of it, I mean, just a alternate perspective, if I may highlight.
No, I mean, you can design agents to work in a way that they don't need your intervention. But in a public sector, right, I think the interventions are required. We will design in a way that every step there is an intervention. The only thing is the same officer who was doing 10 things in a day with the agentic, they can do 100 things in a day. So the better outcomes.
Like HITL, we have already spoken about, right? Thank you so much. Thank you for your views. Now, I think we are left with about 4 minutes. So, can I request, do we have any questions from the audience? Anything that comes to your mind which you would like to ask the senior eminentaries that are there on the stage? Because I have something even more interesting. Okay, sir, please, please. Can we have someone giving the mic?
थैंक यू। मेरा सवाल ये था कि आपने ये कहा कि वी कैन एक्सेल इन एप्लीकेशन लेयर विदाउट डूइंग वेरी गुड इन फाउंडेशनल लेयर। ये सही समझा मैं? आप ऐसा कुछ कह रहे थे?
सर, ये सवाल मेरे लिए तो मेरा पॉइंट यहाँ पे ये है कि फाउंडेशनल लेयर विज़िवी एप्लीकेशन लेयर एंड सॉवरेनिटी, आप इन तीनों चीज़ों को अगर आप कंपेयर करें, एक साथ रखें, सो इट्स अ डिसीजन. It's a decision for the strategic decision makers. It's a Hobson's choice. Now, when it comes to foundational layer, there is resource allocation that is required, right? Application layer, there is no time pertaining to your ROI, right? Your ROI is immediate, right? So one side of it all says that sovereignty honi chahiye, and we have to look at foundational layer.
ये मैंने और भी जगह सुना है, इसलिए मैं कह रहा था कि ये कॉन्सेप्ट प्रोपगेट किया जा रहा है कि फाउंडेशनल लेयर में बहुत अच्छा आप न करें, लेकिन एप्लीकेशन लेयर में हम लोग बहुत अच्छा कर सकते हैं और मनी इज़ इन एप्लीकेशन लेयर। लेकिन मैं ये नहीं समझ पाता हूँ कि वो कंपनीज जो फाउंडेशन लेयर में बहुत अच्छा कर रही है या जो जनरेट कर रहे हैं फाउंडेशनल मॉडल बना रहे हैं लाइक ओपन एआई मेटा ये लोग, उनसे बेहतर आपका एप्लीकेशन कैसे हो सकता है?
सर इसमें इफ आई मे सर, फाउंडेशनल लेयर की आप मेटा की बात की, आपने ओपन एआई की बात की. व्हाट इज द डेफिसिट ऑफ ओपन एआई सर एज ऑन डेट?
डेफिसिट मींस?
डेफिसिट एज इन उनका पैसा उधारी पे कितना है?
नहीं ये तो नहीं पता, लेकिन उनका वैल्यूएशन 5 ट्रिलियन है जो इंडिया के जीडीपी से ज़्यादा है.
May not be an accurate figure in a manner because their year-on-year burn rate is so high. I mean, if you ask, just put it on open AI.
आप बर्न कर रहे हो ना, वो उनका इन्वेस्टमेंट है.
I mean, that is a debate. That debate that
देखिए
exists.
ऐसा है ना, कंपनी की कीमत तो मार्केट ही तय करती है, और अभी अगर उसका वैल्यूएशन $5 ट्रिलियन है तो वैल्यूएबल है.
Could we talk about AI bubble here? Do you want to talk about AI
कई
bubble?
लोग इसको डिनाई करते हैं, कई लोग कहते हैं
So
ऐसा
that is a
है,
debate.
बट क्वेश्चन लिमिटेड ये था कि मुझे लगता है कि हम लोगों को इस गलतफहमी पे काम नहीं करना चाहिए कि फाउंडेशनल लेयर तो छोड़ दो, हम नहीं करेंगे और एप्लीकेशन हमारा बेहतर हो सकता है. क्योंकि मेरा ये मानना है कि जो लोग फाउंडेशनल लेयर में अच्छा कर रहे हैं उनसे बेहतर एप्लीकेशन आपका नहीं हो सकता है अगर आपका वहाँ कंट्रोल और कमांड नहीं है.
Sir, thank you so much for this input, and for the larger audience, what sir has said कि foundational layer आपको चाहिए and उसके ऊपर आप अपनी application build कीजिए. Sir, अगर मैं आपका point थोड़ा और आगे लेके जाऊँ, I'll give you a military perspective here. The military perspective is sovereignty of your foundational layer is absolutely critical, because otherwise tomorrow you are nothing but a stooge of the external powers. And hence, sir, do you agree with my point? So that is why foundational layer becomes very critical. Now the question is, in a nation wherein resources may be limited, right? Fiduciary resources may be, financial resources may be limited. So अगर आपको prioritize करना है तो किस चीज़ को पहले prioritize करें? So that is what is the debate, and thank you so much for this input, sir.
सर मैं कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ इस पे. सर आई एग्री विद योर पॉइंट दैट जो 5 लेयर का केक है एआई का, उस पर सारी लेयर्स पे ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है. Especially from a practitioner point of view, I am in police, I am trying to implement AI projects and I always do a lot of presentation, but finally bottleneck आ जाता है compute पे और model पे. Because पुलिस का डेटा बहुत sensitive है, you can't use models which are ChatGPT और Claude, तो आपको मॉडल ओपन सोर्स लेना पड़ेगा. ओपन सोर्स मॉडल की परफॉर्मेंस उतनी अच्छी होती नहीं है, तो आपको अपना मॉडल अल्टीमेटली बनाना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि ओपन सोर्स मॉडल विल बी ऑलवेज लैगिंग बिहाइंड दी जो भी अच्छे मॉडल्स हैं. तो आई थिंक इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, especially in government where sovereignty is a issue of compute and data both. तो इसमें सर हमको नीचे की लेयर पे भी ध्यान देना है और ऊपर की लेयर पे भी ध्यान देना है. ऊपर की लेयर में हमको बस इतना ध्यान देना है कि हमारा ह्यूमन इन द लूप रहे, बिकॉज हमारा जो जॉब है वो लाइफ एंड डेथ का है, और जो फाउंडेशनल लेयर है उसमें हमारी सोवरेंटी का इशू है, इसलिए हमको उस पर भी ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है. थैंक यू सर.
Thank you so much. Now this has been an absolutely enthralling discussion, unlike many discussions that we have had. Enthralling, why? Because we have had perspectives, we have had alternate perspectives, we have even had counter perspectives. Or this is what is governance all about. And I am extremely grateful to each of the panel members for the time that has been spent by you. Thank you, and I'll hand over to the organizer.